Can you see me? I'm hidden here behind the peppers. Just kidding. It was a pepper haul, let me tell you. I wish I could count from the beginning of the harvesting of the peppers to here, the poundage, because we're into poundage at this point. It was a lot, and it was amazing. I was not expecting anything like this. Like I said, I had planted far too many, I think, but I didn't expect them all to take. And I'm having a hard time learning that whether you start from seed or even if you get them from the store, maybe 12 pepper plants are too many. In this case, I'm sure we had 20 plus. So I'm going to have to learn when we do our seed starts this year to harvest the healthy ones and compost the other ones, which is just difficult for me because I feel like I've gone to all that work to grow it, and now I'm disposing of it. So I'm sure I'll get there. I'm sure some of you are probably laughing at me, and I think some of you might just understand. But here it is, the last of the harvest. We have our Tabasco. These are our Cayennes that didn't turn green, but that's okay because I love to make a green hot sauce and green powder, pepper powder. We have our red Cayennes. We've got bell peppers, banana peppers, the last of the tomatoes, some green beans, which it was a bush bean I planted. It was a total test. I've never planted bush beans before in my life, and they came up well, except for the Mexican bean beetle, which I have a previous video about how annoying that was. But it was nice to know that I can grow the beans. We grew pinto beans, again as a test. Never touched or grew a bean in my life. So that made me really excited. I'm looking at maybe kidney and garbanzo next year because we enjoy those as well. So I have a lot of processing I'm going to be doing today, and I thought I'd share with you a couple of things that I do with the peppers besides fermenting. Well, what do I do with all of this dehydrated pepper bonanza? A lot, because we've had a lot this year, as you've seen. So there's quite a few things. Last year I started and pretty much just did ferments, and here is an all habanero ferment that I did. Ferments are very simple. In this case, I just crushed up habaneros, weighed the habanero, put in 2% salt depending on the weight, and put a pickle pipe on top and let her rip. Easy peasy. I also have a Instant Pot hot sauce recipe that I'll put a link below for you to go to and see how that's done. But this is pure Tabasco. Now I wanted to do it last year, I didn't have enough Tabascos, but this year I did, so this was pure Tabasco. While I will never replicate Tabasco because I've been to the plant and it's magic. It definitely is probably going to be my favorite homemade so far. So you can get these kinds of jars online. Again, I'll put a link below for jars. This is going to be gift central. Remember the video I did with the herb salts and the taco seasoning and all that? This year is going to be the year of the powdered pepper and dill. Got more coming that I'm drying, but this is just some dill that I dehydrated and ground, put it in my blender and whirred it up. Remember those cayenne peppers I showed you, the red peppers? Here we go. Here's homemade cayenne powder. Easy to make. Dehydrate and then just put in your blender and whir down to whatever form you want. If you want it chunkier or if you want it very powdered, that's up to you. Here's, this is my green, this is a mixed pepper. I have bell, I have green cayenne in here as sort of a little bit of a different flavor profile. Again, I thought this would be a cool gift. And then here, I've started dehydrating some of those peppers already. Here are some of the peppers that you saw sitting on the table, already dehydrated. And I leave them whole. When I make powders, I don't powder everything. I powder as much as I'm going to need, and then I go back and powder more. It just keeps it fresher. It really does. So what's this? Did you notice? What's this sitting over here? Well, this is something I'm going to do another video on soon, but I wanted to show you that I invested in a brake bleeder. Why? Using it on food? Yeah, we're going to be going solar next year in the farmhouse. fact, our equipment just came in. This is very exciting, and future solar videos to come. But what I do when I use spices, I put them in smaller jars, and I put the lids on. And dill, I'm not going to use every single time, you know. So I will want to go ahead and seal this. Well, believe it or not, using a brake bleeder and those white plastic covers, those of you who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about, that are used usually for your food saver for vacuum sealing. You can get them in a regular and a wide mouth size. You can attach this with the little fitting here and hand seal with those sealers. If you have a power outage and you have nothing else better to do than go around and seal your spices. But it works. This is sealed, and it works great. Like I said, I'm going to do a future video here showing you exactly how this works. I didn't want to go into it right now because there's a lot that I want to talk about. But so here are some of the things that you can do. I'm sure there's a lot more. If you do these kinds of preserves and dehydrating and fermenting, I'd love to hear what you've done and maybe what you've fermented or turned into a hot sauce. But let's get back to why we love peppers so much. Well, one of the things about bell peppers is they're high in vitamins A, C, and potassium, also folate, and they have fiber, and they're low cal. Plus, as a raw crunchy snack, which is probably the way we eat them most, we love them. Uses for bell peppers, I mean, raw, but soups, stews, a powder to season things like what we're going to be doing today, but also in a dip. There's just so many different ways to use bell peppers, and they're so good for you. Fresh salads, you name it, you guys know. Bell peppers are really delicious. So we like to grow a lot of bells. Oh heck, I think one of our favorite things is stuffed bell peppers. Let's not forget those. But what about the cayennes? Always been a hot food person. Love hot sauce, and so does most of the family. And cayenne pepper is great for you. It has capsicum in it, which is fabulous. That's the active ingredient, and it is great, they say. I am not an herbalist or a nutritionist, but my dad did have a PhD in holistic medicine, and I grew up in a time when that wasn't so cool. So I like to think that I understand what I'm doing for my family, but I'm certainly not telling you what to do for yours. Definitely follow your own instincts and do a lot of reading on these things. But capsicum, they say, is good for your digestive health. I would say I have a stomach pretty much cast iron. It doesn't care for dairy, but you know. It's besides the digestive, it's also supposed to lower blood pressure, which is great. And you know, it just tastes good. And the peppers we do, like I said, we ferment into hot sauce. There's so many variations of things that you can do. Add some to white vinegar and have a hot vinegar. That's a simple gift to make, or just something to have on your table. One other thing when I'm processing peppers, too many times I have touched my eye. Don't do it. Don't do what I've done. Put on gloves. Trust me, the day you touch your eye is the day you're going to hear me in the back of your head say, put on gloves. Do it. So after I do my cuts, which I usually take a few, line them up, you know, just sort of like this, have them all going one way. Some of them like to fly. And then I'll cut the stems off all at once, like this. Just kind of line them all up, cut the stems off. I usually have the girls here to help me, but everybody's working or conducting homeschool, so today it's just me. Cut them into the chunks. I said I did the smaller chunks. This is about where we're at here. Did I just, oh my goodness, I did. I just threw those little vine ends here into my bowl of good stuff. Have you done that before? Oh my gosh, unbelievable. So taking out the stems that you don't want, this is about the size that I've been cutting them to. Before I did them bigger, it didn't work for me. But play with your dehydrator and see how it works. Throw these in the dehydrator. I set mine at 125 for about 12 to 15 hours depending. Your directions may be different. Always read the directions of your dehydrator and learn that. I've listened to other people, what they've done on theirs. I did my settings the same and it just didn't come out right. So I learned you really can't hurt anything much, and just find out the settings that your dehydrator runs at. My dehydrators are different brands. They all dry at different times. So these are the things that I've learned about peppers. These are some of the benefits of peppers. These are the things you wear when you're cutting peppers. And this is what I'm going to be doing the rest of the day. So I hope you go out and make it a wonderful day. I hope you had a great garden harvest. Are you guys planting anything for fall? Do you have anything coming up? We'll talk about what we've done soon, what's growing in the garden right now for fall. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching. This is Nikki D from 5 Dog Farm, and I'll talk to you soon. So why bell peppers? What is it about bell peppers that our family loves so much?